almost forgot. Yes, thank you. Okay, I already recorded. Okay, everyone, we are recording the webinar as usual, yeah? Right, maybe we will start right now, Mr. Braco. Okay, so thank you so much. Great. Welcome to everyone who just joining our webinar right now. Okay, so I would like to start, everyone. Don't forget to use the background if you are able to. And then don't forget to rename your name so we can see where you're from, the city and the country, of course. Now, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How was your day, everyone? So since
Very
we have,
nice.
very nice. Thank you, Miss Nana. Since we have an international webinar with the participants of many countries that has time differences, I guess. So I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to our last session of the International English Training Class Batch 2 by VLc Indonesia. But first thing first here, Arini, I'd like to invite everyone here to say the slogan of the VLc Indonesia together. Okay, would you mind, everyone? So when I say VLc Indonesia, please answer it by one teacher, one book, and one thing can change the world. All right? Are you ready? Okay, you may open your microphone yourself. You can unmute yourself for us to do this. Ready? Oh, thank you, Miss Androvi. All right. VLc Indonesia. One teacher, one book,
one thing
One
can change the world.
the world. Thank you so much. It was
Thank
great.
you,
Yes, Fernanda,
VLc
hello
Indonesia.
from Mexico. I know it's night there, right? So first, I'd like to thank you for your participation in the International English Training Class Batch 2 in collaboration. We really appreciate it, yeah, among all the limited things that you have, okay. And also, I'd like to thank very much to, of course, Professor Chritopher Korten that is already here between us to be the great speaker of this wonderful webinar, our wonderful day. So amazing, right, Arini?
Yes, that's so true.
How do you feel?
I feel so great and so exciting.
Okay, good. So before we go on any further, let us please introduce ourselves. So I'm Primayanti, an English learner and a teacher of SMK Telkom Bandung. Well, actually, I love English because it makes me feel like I have a superpower. Since it's an international language, means you can go anywhere or visit other countries with no language barrier like that. But so dear participants, we are then so lucky having this international webinar focusing on English learning and practice, of course, because it is a great opportunity for us to learn as much knowledge about English with the experts around the world, of course, yeah. And a big thanks to Mr. Bacco as the founder of the VLc for giving me this great opportunity to become one of the hosts of the webinars. And then for 1 hour and 30 minutes today, I am accompanied by Arini that I already agreed from the beginning as my panel host from SMP Nurul Fikri Boarding School, Serang, Banten. Okay, hi Arini.
Hello, Miss Prima.
So we are in the different city. I'm in Bandung, West Java, and you are in Serang, Banten or Jakarta, yeah?
Yes.
So how is the weather there?
It's a wonderful day. The weather is sunny.
In the morning, it was cloudy actually, Mr. Baka and everyone, but now it's suddenly being bright, really bright, yeah, and sunny. So it means this is really wonderful day for the webinar. And then also hello for all the participants from Indonesia and special participants from abroad. I hope that everything is okay today, okay? So, Arini,
Yes.
would you mind to introduce yourself first?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Prima. Honestly, this is my great opportunity. And hi, Pips. I'm Arini as a student of Nurul Fikri Boarding School, Serang, Banten. And
Yes.
hello for all participants from Indonesia and special participants from abroad. I do hope that is everything okay today. And there are 3 sessions. The first one is opening remarks. The second is presentation from the speaker. And the last one is question and answer. So what should we do next, Miss Prima?
Okay, thank you so much for the information, Arini. So before we go on, again, we would like to read some rules, yeah? First, please mute the microphone except the host let you speak. And then keep on the camera, please, please, please. And then rename the name on your screen with your nickname, town, and country. For example, Prima Bandung, Indonesia, or nickname country, for example, Andy, Spain, like that. And then is there still any rules, Arini?
Yes, for the last rule.
Yes.
You can ask questions in the chat room, or maybe you can click the raise hand button and you may ask directly in Q&A sessions.
Okay, it's in the session questions and answer session, right? And then there will be attendance lists on the last 10 minutes before we finish this program. Don't forget to use your pictorial background and then just screenshot for the attendance or the proof, yeah, and then upload it to the link. Okay. So I think everyone here, most of the participant already renamed. Thank you so much. And I see all the participants coming are from what? Mexico, Iran, and then other countries. Yeah, wonderful. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So the first thing that we are going to have now, I think, Arini, you are going to have these opening remarks for our first agenda, right? So here already, Mr. Prasetyo Surendro. Yes. Hello, Mr. Krishna.
Okay. Hello, Miss Prima.
Yes.
How are you?
This is my principal, everyone, and he's really kind and supportive, yeah, and motivate all the teachers and students here for being better. So we would like to invite you as the principal of SMK Telkom Bandung, one of the schools in collaboration with VLc-Indonesia on this program, to deliver the opening remarks. All right. Please, time is yours, Mr. Krishna.
Okay. Miss Prima, check sound.
Yes.
How about my sound?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Introduce my
afternoon.
name, Krishna Prasta Surendro. I'm principal of Vocational School Telkom Bandung. First of all, I would like to thank you for the opportunity given to me by Mr. Bako, the founder of VLC Indonesia in the International English Training Class Batch 2. Thank you to each and every one of the participants for being here with us today. And of course, welcome to Professor Chris Korten from America, who is going to be speaker of today English training class. It is an honor to me and to our school to have this great chance collaborate with VLC, Virtual Literacy Community, English Community Indonesia, in having the amazing webinar focus on the English learning with different topic and different speaker from around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's even from around the world speaker. I believe that English is a universal language, and the more we are able to understand and speak English fluently, the bigger we have chance to grab big opportunities in the industry, especially for the student of the vocational high school that after the graduation, they can go straight to work in a company. As we notice that nowadays, there are many foreign companies in Indonesia. But of course, English fluently is useful for anyone who like to gain more success in their life. We can apply scholarship to study abroad, for example, like that. Mastering English is a must, and joining this English international training class is one of ways of how to gain more knowledge in English. Well, I don't want to take much of your time. Thank you for having me to give the opening remarks. Today will be fun and full of learning with Professor Korten. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day. Success for VLC Indonesia and everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Arini. Thank you, Pak Risa, for the great opening remarks. It was inspiring, yeah. And finally, we will continue to the main session. Sorry, session. Oh, of course, this is what we have been waiting for on today's webinar. But wait, Arini,
Yes.
I think I'm going to say a little bit my experience with Professor Karen from the batch one. I remember when I was in the ITC batch one, the professor was teaching us about the English pronunciation. And it was so fun, yeah? Such as how we pronounce words with different syllables correctly, and because the word has its own stress. I still remember it until now, Professor. Thank you so much. And the word that, for example, is like nation, creation, or pronunciation. I hope I did it well. Thank you so much. And of course, today's topic is really, it's also very interesting. It is normal English and versus actually better English. This is not really familiar, yeah, in Indonesia, because most of the Indonesian usually speak in a normal way English. Let's see here, Arini.
Yes.
Yeah. So, are we going to have this presentation now with Professor Karen? Are you ready?
Yes, but wait.
Okay.
Before we go to before we go to Professor Chritopher Korten topic, I'm gonna read first about speaker's biography. First, his name is Professor Chritopher Korten. He is from United States of America, and he is university professor in Poland and Russia.
Right, yeah, I can wait more for getting more knowledge and something new. So, hello, Professor Korten.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you for
Great.
coming.
I hope you guys can see me. I know the camera is a little bit.
Ooh,
Can you? Really?
Yes, clearly, Professor. You're still
Great.
good as always, like on the bench one. What time is it there now, actually, Professor?
It's 9:10 in the morning.
Oh, it's still in the morning. Yeah, a bit different with us. It's already afternoon here at 1 p.m. actually. So thank you for being with us. It is so special.
Great.
And
It's great.
yes, and we will know and learn about which one is better to be said. Is it normal English or better English? Yeah. Yes, Arini?
I wanna ask for Professor.
Yes.
How do you feel? How do you feel to join in VLC Indonesia again?
It's very nice here and to see some familiar faces. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to speak to you all this morning or this afternoon. And I'm especially excited about the topic. So maybe there'll be some questions afterwards. Should be interesting.
Thank you, Professor. So are you ready now for presentation and practicing your topic with all participants today?
Yes.
Okay, time is yours.
All right, please, Professor. Thank you.
All right, I will try to share my screen, and I've never done this on my phone, so let's see if it's going to work.
Well, actually, if it doesn't work, I can help you here because I already got the slide of yours, your slide.
Oh, you have the slides, yes?
Yes. Yes,
okay,
I have.
Here for a moment. Let me try one more time.
All right.
You see. Okay, let's try. Okay, let's try this. Can you see that?
Oh, wait. Yes. Yeah, we can see it.
All right, I will try. I will try to use this and see if.
With pleasure, Professor.
With pleasure. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to talk today about normal versus better English and my understanding of this and perhaps some criticisms of what I'm seeing out there. So let me share again the next slide. So we'll go slide by slide. So here I have three purposes today. The structure is divided into three sections. I'm going to debunk the fallacy, means I'm going to criticize basically normal versus better English as a concept. I will talk about ways it's helpful, but in general, this is being taught on Instagram and YouTube, and this other very popular idea of don't say this is being taught. And I'm going to talk about the problems with these teachings. Then I'm going to talk about how to understand the real differences between good and better English. And then I'm going to suggest alternative ways to teach these concepts so that we have hope at the end of the talk. So let's get started. If there are no questions, I will move to the next slide, which is discussing normal. So section 1, normal versus better English and other poor teaching trends. These are things I've observed on Instagram and on YouTube, and they're very popular, but not very well thought out. So let's take a look. Here's one example that I see a lot. Let me try this. So here we have very common now, you see on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok as well, people saying, stop saying, I think. Has anyone seen this before where you have a teacher saying, stop saying something, a word in English? If you haven't, you will soon see it if you're on Instagram or YouTube. So this particular blogger has said, and I've covered their identity because it's not important, but they've said, stop saying I think. And I watched the video and they say, we don't say it, say I reckon, I suppose. And this is honestly not very good teaching. So let's go to the next slide. And there are two acceptable ways to say, there are two acceptable moments when you can say, don't say. The first is when they're making an error. Obviously, don't say, I make my homework, when you should say, I do my homework. So if it's an error, then of course it's okay to say, don't say it. And if it's an inappropriate language, if it's offensive language, if it's maybe slang that people don't understand, then it's okay to say, don't say that. But what we're seeing here in the first slide is that they're suggesting don't say a word that is so very important in the English language, I think. And this is just bad teaching methodology. You should not encourage people to avoid common words in English. You don't do that in your own language, and so you shouldn't do it in English. Now let me move on to a few more here. Let me try, I'm getting better at this now. So here we go. So here are other words I see bloggers telling their viewers not to say. Don't say no, don't say very, don't say because, don't say good. And this is all very bad advice, honestly. Imagine, now I know European languages because I'm a historian and I write and I need to read in these languages. So I know a little bit of Spanish and Italian, German and Polish and Russian. And I can't imagine not using the word no in that language, or very in those languages, or because in those languages. They're so important in these languages, and it's the same in English. To suggest people to avoid using a very important and common word is just very bad teaching advice, but I'm seeing it all over. And I want you just to be aware of it and to understand that it's not very good advice, and you don't want to follow this advice. Now, I understand what they're teaching. They're suggesting that you have variety in your vocabulary, and variety is fine. If you want to use different words as in variety, but you don't want to avoid or stop using these words that I've listed here. Variety is fine, but you don't want to avoid very common, important words. I use these words all the time, and it doesn't mean that I speak poor English. It just means I use it because these words are important in the English language. Now, there are now getting back to the sort of center of our talk, we have these sorts of posts on Instagram all over, and they're also being taught on YouTube. Normal English, better English. So I'm very happy is supposedly normal or maybe boring or something. And better English is I'm over the moon. And I'm over the moon is definitely not better English. It might be less common. It might be a phrasal verb, but it's not better. And I would never advocate this sort of teaching because it's just not accurate. Normal English or good English is any English that you understand that's been clearly articulated. So if you have an idea and you tell someone else and they understand your idea, then you've communicated successfully. And that's probably going to be good English. Now, but over the moon is not better English than I'm very happy. I would prefer I'm very happy than I'm over the moon. Another one, I'm very busy and I'm swamped. Now, it's true that I'm swamped is less common, but it's not better than I'm very busy. I'm very busy is it's understandable, it's clear. And you don't need to suggest that it's not acceptable or not something you should use. And in this example, there's the understanding that I'm swamped is preferred, and it's not preferred. You can say I'm swamped, but it's not going to make you any better in English. All right, I want to just mention this. I've got a few very quickly here that I'm giving, I'm on my YouTube, I'm talking about teaching basics. And I talk about this normal versus better a little bit in this and a few other videos. So if you're interested in improving your teaching methodology or your skills, or you're interested in being a teacher, this video on my YouTube channel, Professor Korten, is very, very helpful. And what I try to do on this YouTube channel is cover topics that haven't been addressed enough or directly. And of course, I put my own novelty or newness or spin on it because I'm sharing from my own experiences. So you'll have new content there. Now let's look at what really is better English. So let's talk about how to recognize better English, because I've suggested that the examples earlier, I'm swamped or I'm over the moon, this is not better English. This is different, but it's not better English. So what is better English? I'm going to tell you what I think is better English, and then we can have a discussion. So let's do these two here. All right. Better English is more detailed English. So BE means better English. That's the first. So my day was busy is not very descriptive. It's not very interesting. We know very generally about your day, but we don't know anything. What's more interesting English is when you go into more detail. So instead of saying I was just busy, which is okay, but it's very general, you can say I exercised in the morning, made a presentation at 3, and met a friend at 5. And suddenly now it's more interesting English because the person you're talking to has an understanding of your day in a lot more detail. And this is interesting. This is always going to be more interesting. How many times have you asked somebody, how are you? And they say good or okay. Now in English, this is not interesting English because it's not descriptive. It's not because good is a bad word. It's just because we don't know much from that very short response. So this is a way to make it more interesting. A second way that we make our language more interesting is by making it more stylish. So let's look at that. You could say a very basic style. So if you have a low level of English, it's common to hear, I traveled home, I met my friends, we went to dinner. That's a very basic style of English. What's a better style of English? If you put that together into one sentence, I traveled home to meet my friends for dinner. This is a natural style using normal words, clear words in one sentence. And so this is almost always going to be better style because in the first you have 3 short sentences and it's stylistically not very pleasing in English. So I'll read it again and listen for the difference. I traveled home, I met my friends, we went to dinner. Or I traveled home to meet my friends for dinner. Do you hear the difference? This is, in my view, the second one, a much better example of English than you have in the first example. All right, so this is now getting very interesting. But here's the big point. Words don't make better or worse English. So you can't just say, this is a better word, this is a normal word. That's not how it works in English. You can use other descriptions, but they're not better and normal. You need context. Context, the word within context determines how good or better or worse it is, not the word itself. So let's take these examples. This is a very basic example, but hopefully it will make my point. If you suggest, like the bloggers have done, normally the bloggers would say that satisfactory is a more interesting word than good, or it's a better word. So because it's less common, you don't say satisfactory as much as you do good, so satisfactory is better. But look at the context in which you find these 2 words and you see that good and better here has no relevance. It depends on the context. You have to have context to determine whether something is good or not. So look at this. The first one, there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. And then the second sentence, this is a satisfactory chair. So we use good, which a lot of bloggers say is a bad word, normal word to avoid. But guess what? In the first sentence, this is a sentence made or written by Shakespeare in his famous play Hamlet. And it's one of the most well-known, famous sentences in the English language. And what's amazing about this sentence is there's no word in it that's special, but yet the sentence is iconic. It's a sentence that we remember, and it's listed as one of the most interesting sentences in the English language. And so here we have good as part of one of the best sentences in the English language, which suggests the context is important, not the word itself. And this is amazing. To be able to suggest or communicate in this way using normal English words, common English words, I think is really special. There's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. In other words, it's your motivations, it's your intentions that determine whether something is good or bad. Now, in the second sentence, we have a more elevated word, less common, but it's used in an improper way. So that's why words by themselves don't make better or worse English. We need the context. We don't say this is a satisfactory chair. That's awkward English. So chairs can be comfortable, they can be new, they can be antique, but it's odd to describe them as satisfactory. And so I think that's it. Okay, let's stop here. Let's continue. Wow, I've gone faster than I thought. So I'm going to leave you with just a few more. I'm not going to speak the full time, I don't think, but I think my points have been very clear. Here's the third and final part of the speech. I'm going to give you 3 alternative suggestions. Instead of saying better and normal, which I suggest is not good teaching, unless you're talking about avoiding words that aren't acceptable because they're offensive or wrong. But here are alternatives to teaching this. Instead of saying better and normal, we can talk about the difference between formal and informal. So something that's fine is formal or normal English, let's say standard English. Dope is informal or slang English. That's dope. You might hear kids in America saying that, but this is something that's not standard. Not standard English. Other words we have as well, informal, you look hip or you're dressed very elegantly. So we have different ways to express concepts, especially with beauty and emotions, where we can do it informally versus formally. So this is an interesting way for teachers to teach English in a more correct or methodologically sound manner. There's another way. The second way is sort of closer to this better versus normal model. You can teach common versus less common to let people know that they can use these less common words and for variety. So instead of saying good, you can also use adequate or standard or acceptable. So we can teach in this model of common versus less common to sort of expand the students' vocabulary. And finally, we can use, and I think very importantly, common versus less common collocations. A collocation is the words that are used near the target word. So if we're using satisfactory as an example, we have a satisfactory chair we've understood is less common. In fact, it's a little bit awkward because when something is not used in that way, people are confused. So a satisfactory chair is a confusing expression. Even if you like the word, it's not in a very proper manner, expressed in a proper manner. Now, if we have here a satisfactory performance, that is collocated in a natural way. We do talk about performances in a satisfactory manner. And suddenly then that is acceptable English. That's standard English. And so we can teach it through collocations, common collocations. So that's sort of standard English. Less common isn't necessarily wrong, but it could be wrong or not sort of good English, or it could be that people will not understand you. So we have two risks here when you use less common collocations. Unless it's you're discussing collocations from literature, sometimes writers, famous writers, will use very sort of, they will use neologisms. They will create words or create context that normally didn't exist. And so this is, I think, quite interesting discussion as well. All right. I think I've been very brief, but I think that's it. Let me just see here. Oh. Finally, I just want to say, I want to reach out to Mr. Bacco, because I think Mr. Bacco and I initially met on my Instagram account at Professor_Korten. And he's been very generous, very kind. We've had some really wonderful conversations over the past few months since we began our cooperation. And what he's developing here in Indonesia and indeed abroad, by organizing these conferences, which take a lot of effort, I know it, is really amazing. He's done a really great job, and I want to just thank him and encourage him with the movement that he's developing here, the language and English movement, to continue. And I just want to thank him publicly for the work he's done, and more importantly, I think his enthusiasm for learning and for the people that participate. So thank you, and thank you all for listening. I'm happy to open this up for questions. So I'll unshare my screen and we can have questions. Thank you.
Well, maybe the presentation is done, right, Professor Korten?
Yeah, you know what? I had all these slides and I realized I didn't speak as long.
No, but we can.
I've got so many. Very busy day today. Unfortunately, I've got 3 or 4 meetings. So, but I feel that we have touched on the most important elements. I've given specific examples of the problems, of the definitions and solutions. So I think that the point has been made clearly, but I'm open for questions to talk about.
Of course, yes. Okay, well, absolutely. Thank you so much, Professor Korten. That all the participants, I guess, enjoyed. I enjoyed it also, your presentation, Jessa, because I thought better English is the expressions that is better to be said better than normal English, but it's not. Actually, I googled it also, and then it came out the expressions of I'm very hungry, that one, and then I'm starving. I thought I'm starving, but that is not.
I'm very hungry. I'm starving. They both communicate the same message. There's nothing better or worse about either of them. Now, if you want to say I'm starving is less common, maybe this is true, and that's okay to say it's less common, but it's definitely not better English. It's just different.
Different, yes. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
We can hear you. Yes, probably the discussion is open right now. It's time for the Q&A session. And this is the most important part, I guess, in the webinar. So please, anyone, if you have any questions, you may ask it right now. And how is it going to be, Arini?
So this time we have 30 minutes for asking questions to Professor Professor Chritopher Korten. So who wanna ask first?
Me.
All right, Mr. Joshua. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon to all of you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Let me introduce myself. Thank you, madam. Let me introduce myself first in brief. My name is Joshua Lemyadi. You can all just call me Joe. I am an alumnus of English literature, studying at Universitas Terbuka Indonesian Open University, graduated in 2018. And I'm here to support, firstly, I want to support my younger sister, Arini. It is so inspiring, and it is so spectacular how I saw her talking and to lead as such good and major meeting like this. Yeah, hopefully we can share the same passion to use English better and proper in our daily lives. And secondly, I would like to greet Mr. Professor Chris Korten. I'm so delighted for your materials, and I took some notes to discuss with. The first about the word swamp. It reminds me of a movie called Shrek, when Shrek told the crowd, "What are you doing in my swamp?" So this word swamp is less common, yeah, but sometimes it could be an idiom to express some uncertain things, like when you feel uncomfortable, you feel like you're not so okay, you're not so fine at that time. And the key is how to use language as proper as we could use. And then sometimes we need to redefine how we treat grammar between vocabulary in case of making a better understanding for certain message delivered in a formal or casual way as it is, yeah, as needed. And then I took notes. The third is common versus uncommon words or phrase is just as confusing as how English is mostly used on the internet nowadays, specifically in social medias. And I took some notes from the social media phrases like, yeah, between hungry and starving, yeah. And then specifically in social media really changes how we use language in our daily lives nowadays, yeah, more or less. And how to keep proper use of English in our daily life must be started from the proper literacy about the how we use that the English language itself. Yeah, literacy is the key for proper and also modern language use. And the second one that I just found a fact that Indonesians mostly use English for the formal way or formal use, so that ethics as Indonesians may think that ethics is the utmost priority while using English language in their daily lives. And this is so disturbing for me, because I live with English since I was young, since I was a kid. And I spoke with my ex-grandfather, who was a United States citizen, American citizen, and it really made me get used to how to use English for both casual and formal forms. And then about the hunger and starving, I found that this could be meant to hunger is mostly used for the emotional use or emotional purposes, and starving for the starving is commonly used for formal and acceptable and more properly used for the
excuse me, Joe.
Hello.
Yes.
And
It is really great conclusions of yours. But yes, thank you so much.
Yeah,
but
thank you so much. Thank you so much, madam.
Yeah, do you have any questions for Professor?
Okay, I want to ask for professors, how what do you think, or what do you think about Indonesians using English in social media nowadays, and how to reliterate most people on using a proper and better English not just in the social media, but in our whole daily lives. Do you have any ideas how to improve English for us who mostly talk Indonesians or other languages besides the English? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Professor, do you want to have all the
Yeah,
questions first?
so
Or
I
just
think,
straight to answer it?
yeah, I'll answer that question. So I think I think my talk today is part of that answer, is that the way you can instruct Indonesians and others on social media is to make them aware of unhealthy teaching practices, so you can avoid or at least understand where the problems are. I think that's one way to sort of help Indonesians and others through social media. Now, the speaker has mentioned a few interesting points. A few I agree with, and a few I don't. The notion of hunger and starving being emotional and something else is not at all practical in normal conversation. If I say I'm hungry or I'm starving, I'm not thinking about emotional or physical states. I'm expressing a concept that more or less means the same thing. So you can there are dictionary differences, but in practice, there are no such differences. So that's not really a relevant comment. But the social media, I think, is really interesting what he mentioned about this, this notion that social media English is changing what is considered acceptable forms or how people are communicating. And I think this is something that is in process. It's changing. And so where that ends up, we don't know. But he is right. I agree that I think the impact of social media and the communication through that on the English language and what's considered acceptable in 10 years or in 5 years is changing dramatically. So I'm aware of it, and I'm trying to be sensitive to these changes. At the same time, holding to what I understand is acceptable English according to sort of my rubric, which is international publishing. I hope here.
Yes,
Sure.
Mr. Joe. Okay.
Yeah, hello.
Yes,
I can hear you. I can hear you both.
Yes.
Okay.
So those explanations are acceptable to me, and it adds more insights for all of us. And I hope this will be beneficial for all of us who attend the meeting for today. Thank you. And goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Have a nice day, Mr. Joe. All right. Please, I would like to invite the other participants to have questions, probably to Professor Korten. Yes. Anyone who would like to ask, please? This is a good opportunity for us to have more comprehensions about the normal English, yeah, and what is it? Better English. Yes, from Ardian. Please, Mr. Ardian, you can unmute yourself and then ask.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miss Prima. So, hello, Mr. Korten, Professor Korten. So my name is Ardian, and I'm from Bandung, Indonesia. Right here, I would like to ask one question. It's regarding the lesson that you just delivered. Actually, it's really interesting, and thank you so much for the insight, and it's really meaningful to me. And I got a lot of new things too. Right here, I would like to ask, the distinction between a better English. So you mentioned about better English, like it's a lot more detailed English, and also it's a lot stylish. It's a stylish English. So what I'm going to ask is, how do you distinguish between a detailed English and also stylish? Because from the slide that you showed me or show us, I mean, it's almost the same. Like they are detailed. The stylish one is also detailed. So what's the difference?
Okay, so what's the difference between better English and detailed English? Is that what you mean?
Detailed English and also stylish English, like more stylish.
Well, so the example I used, I had for stylish English, there were 3 short sentences and 1 long sentence that very naturally tied in the same concepts. The second sentence is always going to be considered more stylish unless you have a very specific literary effect. Detailed English is more on a more practical level. when I'm asking you how you are or how's your health and you say it's okay, that doesn't tell me much. It's not interesting because I don't have a lot of information. But if you tell me I was just at the doctor, I had a physical, and he suggested everything was fine, but I have to come back next week, that's just a lot more detail, which is more interesting. You have a picture of what's happening. So I tried to give two different examples. Now, what you've pointed out, a very interesting connection between them, and I think, thank you for that. It suggests you were watching very closely. But the stylish English and the detailed English happen to both be. And so there is a commonality there, but not necessarily. You can have short, stylish sentences. You don't have to have long, detailed sentences to be stylish. So the shortest, some of the shortest sentences in the English language are also some of the most commonly quoted. So it doesn't have to be necessarily long, but I take your point.
All right.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you, by the way.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Adrian. And I see there still more participants coming in this afternoon, only to see and learn from Professor Korten. And then another questions, probably you may type it on the chat room if you don't want to speak directly, but we would appreciate it if you can speak directly to Professor Korten to ask the question. Yes, anyone who would like to ask more about our material or our topic today? Yes, maybe from abroad. Yeah, okay. Still waiting, Professor. I think it's quite clear, yeah. Your presentation was good. Okay. Yes, Professor?
I have a question for participants that, has anyone encountered these teachings on Instagram or YouTube, better versus normal English, or don't say this, and it's a very common word. Have you encountered these sorts of posts and videos or not? I'm curious.
Yes, a lot.
Oh, yes.
I don't think so.
There are a lot of them.
Yep.
Yes, Miss
I've
Nana,
been
maybe
watching a
you
lot
would
of
like to
videos.
share, or yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've encountered a lot of this kind of teaching, and the lesson that you just gave us today, it's mind-blowing for me personally, because I thought that the ones that I've got from the social media was the right thing, but apparently not right now after you gave the insight of it. So thank you so much for opening my mind, Professor.
Yeah, that is actually what I have experienced just now, Miss Nana. The same with you. Yes, anyone? Okay.
I think I'm gonna ask a question to Professor Korten.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, this is my internet sometimes it's unstable, so sometimes it's like freezing. Yes, Miss Nana, do you want to say something again?
Yes, yeah, to Professor Korten.
Please, all right.
Professor, I want to ask a question and related to the contents that you talked about, wrong content in the internet. So what is our best contribution that we can make to, to spread better contents regarding this topic?
Yeah, so I've given 3. That's why at the end, I think it's so important to give alternative solutions. It's easy to criticize. And if you're a teacher, I think this is a really important lesson. It's easy to criticize and say, that's wrong, that's wrong. It's much more difficult to say, that's wrong, but this is an acceptable alternative or a better alternative. And I've tried to provide 3 alternatives to the poor teaching methods I mentioned at the beginning. So this sort of common versus less common, that's probably the weakest methodological, because it can be very subjective on what's common and what isn't common. But there are measures you can Google, word usage and things. But I think formal versus informal is very interesting. But I think the most innovative sort of example I gave today was the collocations. It's a less common collocation. It's a more common collocation. These are interesting, and they help the learners produce a more natural style. And this is helpful. But by telling people that I'm swamped is better English than I'm very busy is not only wrong, it's counterproductive, because everyone will understand I'm very busy, but not everyone will understand I'm swamped. And so you're actually communicating in a less clear manner, unless you're dealing with advanced speakers or native speakers, obviously. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad to learn I'm swamped, but it's not better English. It's an alternative. And it's nice to have alternatives. I pride myself on trying to use many alternatives when I speak and publish, but I would never say that it's better, because it's not. It's different.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor, for answering me.
It's very nice to meet you, by the way, and thank you for your very interesting and thoughtful comments earlier.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Well, I guess I'm sure there are still questions about our topic today, since I thought that normal is we can use it in a formal situation, and better English is like for the informal situation, but it's not. In better English is like trying to be effective. So I mean, our partner other will be more understand. I mean, will understand easily about what we are saying. I guess better is English is that. Okay.
I can't comment. I didn't hear that your internet cut for a minute, so I couldn't hear.
Yes. Hello. I said that I thought normal English is formal situation, and better English is like informal situation or more casual situation. But actually, it is different thing with the slang words like that. So better English can be used. I mean, can be said in the formal situation also, because better English is about to say words in effective ways, so people can understand easily like that. Is that true, Professor?
Yeah. I think acceptable, or if you want to say better English, is when you communicate what you have in your mind to the other person and they understand. That is a successful communication encounter.
All right. So any other questions from the participants? Okay, please, Arini, maybe you would like to ask participants to ask the questions, to invite, sorry.
So who wanna ask? Maybe from the chat room?
Okay, no questions in the chat room actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Here also, participants ask the students, actually, Professor Korten, uh, there are teachers, also students. So is
Oh,
there, yes, is there any tips or I don't know anything for the students about this better English actually?
so I think for students of English, it's important to understand, sort of natural phrasing, how to express that thing in a natural way. And so
Yeah. We
for
sometimes
students,
difficult in that.
yeah, exactly. So just worrying about that is a big enough task, I think, And later you can, of course, add more synonyms and different phrases to express similar concepts. Yeah, I think just a natural sort of development of,
yeah.
but I don't have any special sort of ideas on that.
Okay.
Really better English other than what I've just mentioned, because I think I see this as a harmful teaching trend that I wanted to address today.
All right, Professor Korten, thank you so much for your explanation. So here is a question also in the chat room. Is there from Trianawati, Bekasi, Indonesia? It's near to Jakarta. Is there, yes. Triana, would you like to ask directly to Professor Korten? No? Okay, the question is there a special dictionary about the using of be so we can look for the true meaning of this sentence?
I think most big online dictionaries are going to be fine. You have Cambridge Dictionary, you have Macmillan Dictionary, you have Webster Merriam Dictionary. These are all online, they're all free, and they offer pronunciation. You can click the sound and you can hear the word. I personally also use Oxford Unabridged Dictionary. This is actually a paid service, but when I need to get more detailed on the history of the word or a variation of a word that I'm not sure is still used, I use this one, but it's a paid subscription by Oxford University Press. But it's the best online dictionary by far. It was the best dictionary in print, but it's not free, unfortunately.
Of course, it's not free, Professor. Yes, thank you so much. So, any other question? Yeah, on our special day with Professor Korten. Okay, still more participants here joining the, okay. Ardian, what is it? Ardian said, back then when I said, I am very tired, one person was like attacking me by saying I was wrong because the right word is exhausted. Oh, I am very tired, but exhausted. Okay. Then I was like, they mean the same, but had no idea explaining now thanks to today's lesson. I know what to say. Thank you, Professor Korten. Okay. So many insight and knowledge, yeah. We are open-minded right now about this normal and better English.
Oh, I want to comment on that. That's Ardian or something.
Ardian, yes.
I'm very sorry about that. You're right to be frustrated. You can say I'm exhausted. You can say I'm very tired, and they both communicate basically the same idea. Obviously, I want to just say one thing for those who are very, very advanced in the language who might be listening. There is such a, there's a saying that there's no such thing as an absolute synonym and that every word has a slightly different context. This is true. So, using exhausted is not exactly the same, but for most common communication purposes, it is the same. And so I'm sorry for Ardian that they had this, but this is what I'm talking about. This is bad teaching that this person reacts in such a way because this is the result of the poor teaching practices I was mentioning earlier. So yes, thank you for the comment.
Yeah, or probably if there is questions that is not related to our topic. Is it possible, Professor Korten? Anything
Sure.
but English, but not related to the topic.
Sure, that's
Right.
no.
Someone is raising is from Yuli Ponorogo. Please, Miss Yuli. You're still mute. You have
Sorry.
to unmute.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Hello,
Hello.
Professor.
Hello.
I'm really happy today because maybe this is like I got nostalgia, yeah, from my you know, when 2010 I got scholarship to USA. This is my experience. So that's why I really interested
Amazing.
this yeah, I just really interesting this this material because the students should understand that when I got scholarship, the first time I landed in the South Carolina, you know, I got nothing. I can speak anything. I can understand anything what the people say because you know because in the school usually we speak normal English, you know, but it's quite different when we come to USA. Like what is it? Like for example, mountain. Usually we say mountain, but the people there say mountain. Mountain. This why. So I still confused. I still don't understand until 1 week I realized that okay, we have to study better English. This one. So why I really interesting and I'm so thank you so much because you can really give our explanation today clear and I'm happy today. So thank you so much. Just this, I didn't have question, but I really impression, really happy to see you. Thank you.
Very much. Very nice to meet you, and thank you for those kind words. I hope you had a nice, positive experience in the U.S. I hope it was positive.
Yes. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Miss Yuli. It was such a great experience, yeah, being in the United States. Yeah, for how long have you been there? I mean, did you? Yes.
No. Only 3 months. Only 3
months. But then you get many experience, yeah. From so
yes,
it makes.
Yes, of course. The best experience for me.
Yes, it makes
I hope that
me curious then,
student,
Professor.
Yeah, the best experience for me. I hope that the student, the other student didn't get experience like me. It doesn't understand. You know, 20 students that landed in the United States, still stuck, still jet lag, that didn't understand what the people say. It's really fast and really different with what we study in the school, this one. So I'm happy today. Thank you VLc-Indonesia that give such wonderful material today. Really happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes. So it makes me curious then, yeah, what are the factors or is the factor that made that differences? Because is it the cultures or anything that we can note as a teachers, professor, because when Miss Yuli and probably me landing in the United States or in the different countries that use English as the first language, it's really different in using the expressions, the English. So can you give the opinion, what is the factor that made the differences, or what should we do as teachers to give the students normal English, so they when they probably get a scholarship, they can like adapt it quickly, adapt situation there, especially the language.
Okay, so if I understand your question correctly, it's then I think the the best option is to expose students to native speakers of all varieties, but especially the target country. So if they're planning to go to the US speakers, and with the internet, you have YouTube, so you can you can have anyone speak, and exposure to native speakers with not just listening, but also with visuals, with video, is a great to learn. And you know, I did a post on my Instagram yesterday on songs, and I've had 600 people reply. That, I mean, songs are such a powerful way, but they're a little bit difficult to learn. You know, I wouldn't suggest learning with songs exclusively, because they're not expressing these ideas in a normal way, not always anyway. So it can be it's helpful, but it should be thing. So I think normal videos, I think, are really helpful, unless you're lucky to have a native speaker in your town.
Okay. I hope so. I do. I will do that on my class, to take the students to follow your Instagram, probably one of the way, and then the YouTube, and then just look at the videos and then try to have more native speakers to my student. Thank you so much, Professor. All right. Anyone else would like to ask some questions, please? Arini, do you see any questions from the chat room?
I don't see.
Okay. So, right, I think that is clear enough. Oh, there is an opinion from Dia. You may deliver it directly if you don't mind. Dia. Miss Dia said here, in teaching construction for this era, I think I'll do not only for the normal English, but also better English. Oh, okay. Informal English. In grammatically, sometimes my students produce as their own English. They know a lot in their mother tongue. So I think it's okay. Okay. For doing it. Oh, internet is unstable. Okay. Makes them arise for using it better. So what do you think about it when teacher lets them to say something like the game, language, or Instagram or social media tells? Is it a question?
What do you think with the teacher? Oh, I see. Well, it's going to depend on how informal or slang the game language is, and that will be teacher's discretion on that. But it's a little bit, well, it's understandable because this is the world of a lot of teens, but it's monitored, to be honest. I think it has to be monitored. I have to tell you, I know there's some closing remarks. I have 3 more speeches today I have to give. So I don't have a lot more time, unfortunately, for the questions. I know we have a rather elaborate ending. So
yes, right.
This normally goes a bit longer. Unfortunately, I can't go that long.
Sure.
I don't.
Sure, Professor.
So we might have to finish it a bit early.
All right, but now then, let's just get to the next session. All right, I think that is all for the questions and answer session. And thank you so much for the wonderful answers and the insight and then the knowledge share for us today. So anyway, Arini, let's have some impression for Professor Korten, I guess, from the participant, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Would you like to invite one of the participants from Indonesia to give the impressions to Professor Korten after joining the class?
I think I'm gonna invite Miss Herni from Jakarta, Indonesia, to give impression. Hello, Miss Herni. Hello.
Okay. I think she's not ready yet. All right, then another participant probably.
It's Dina from Indonesia.
Dina.
Hello, Miss Dina. Can you answer how do you feel for joining this topic by Professor Christopher?
Okay. Please, Miss Dina. Yes, we cannot hear you yet. All right, I think there is a problem with the internet. Well, I guess from the other participant then, how about Mr. Guardian is a lot giving the, okay, wait. Icha from Goa. Goa is really far from Indonesia. Not really from Indonesia, from West Java, sorry. Icha, are you there, Bu Ika?
Yes, hi.
Yes, hello.
Good afternoon.
Can you please give the impressions to Professor Korten? And
well, I just want to say thank you so much for the presentation this afternoon. And then I think based on the explanation, I will try to apply in my class later and then try to share to my students and other teachers about a better English, because based on Miss, I forgot that, who got a scholarship to USA, and she said that when we go abroad, the English is different with what we speak in our country. That's why thank you so much for the professor. Nice to meet you. And thank you, Steve, for this, what's that? That's amazing weekend that you give to us. I hope that you, good luck for everything. Thank you so much.
yes, thank you so much, Rika. Miss Ika, yeah, you're still young. All right, thank you. So one more from abroad, probably from Handrobi, I guess. Miss Handrobi, are you there? From Fernanda. Fernanda or Handrobi? Hello? Am I still here with you? Yes. Okay. From Fernanda, Mexico. Hello. Arini, can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, okay. All right. Probably they are still preparing themselves or cannot unmute. Who else then? One more participant from Youth Lely. Probably, yeah. Let's have from the Indonesian participant then. Youth Lely, are you there? Hello? Wow, where is everybody? How about Miss Sisri? Miss Sisri, hello? Yeah. Yes. Can you give an impression to Professor Korten?
Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Actually, I want to say thank you to Miss Professor Korten, and I get something new about language between normal and better English. and I can apply this to my class later.
All right, thank you so much. So then everyone is happy. Yeah, thank you, Miss Sisri. Well, okay, after this, let's have one word or two words. Yeah, two words for Professor, one word for Professor Carter, I mean, and one word for VLC, yeah? Would you like to have one participant, Arini?
It's Miss Yuniarti from Bandung, Indonesia.
Miss Yuniarti, all right. Please, Miss Yuniarti, are you there?
Yes, of course, I'm here.
Okay, probably you can give us an impressions
word?
and then one word for Professor Korten and for the VLc-Indonesia.
Yes. Can you hear my voice?
Yep, yes.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Korten for having the material. This material is really important for me as a teacher, English teacher. I mean, it is because when I teach my student in my language, as I have
It's freezing,
first,
Miss Yuni.
yeah.
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes, please go on.
Miss Prima, can you hear my voice?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, the material who delivered by Mr. Korten is very important for me, especially for me. It is because when I teach my student in my language, in my skill, and one of my student in BPI, there is the student who will go to the board abroad for the next, and this is the material is very important, really important for me.
Okay.
That I can teach my student in this material too.
All right. So one word for Professor Korten, then.
Professor Korten is very great.
Okay. So for one word for VLC, then.
Great too.
Okay. Thank you. Well, another one from Mr. Ardian then. I'd like to invite you to have a word or two words for Professor Korten and one word for VLC.
For Professor Korten, that would be like eyes opening. It's, you know, the presentation is really eyes opening, like meaningful. Meanwhile, for the VLC, it's like, well, just incredible, I guess.
Incredible, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And for Professor Korten is, what did you say?
Like eyes opening.
Eyes opening, yes. And mind opening, yeah. Really.
Yeah, it's short, but it's really like wake me up, you know. Okay, this is what all about. The thing is all about. Okay, yeah. So meaningful, short but meaningful. It's actually you know, the previous presentation is like they tend to be a bit longer, and this time is like it's short, but it gives me I don't know, open my eyes so much, you know.
So do I, and all of us, I guess. So thank you so much, Mr. Arian. All right, I think that is all, yeah, guys. So Arini, would you like to have more participants or enough?
I think it's enough for now.
All right, finally, we would like to say thank you so much. Thanks a lot for the brilliant Professor Korten who has shared amazing topic today. You really inspire us to learn more English, especially English daily conversation in normal expressions or in better expressions. Yes. Yes, thanks for the topic, everyone. Thank you so much. And Arini?
Yes. And also, I want to say big thanks to all participants from Indonesia and abroad for your participation in the fourth day of VLC Indonesia program. And do not forget to stay tuned in VLC Indonesia for other topics and programs. We will meet again in International English Training Class Batch 3, but VLC Indonesia hope so.
I hope so. Hopefully so. But now I'd like to invite Mr. Bako for having some words, on our final sessions of international class. And then, of course, for Professor Korten. Yes. Please, time is yours, Mr. Bako.
Wow, hello everyone. Hello for my special, I want to say my special friends actually. He is my professor, he is my best teachers and my best coach. So actually, today I'm over the moon. Yeah, I'm over the moon because I have two words actually, Professor, today. The first one, I'm so happy, and then I'm sad. Do you know why? Because I'm so happy because you have a time to come here again to deliver, to explain more and more or detail some information about better English versus normal English actually. And the last one, I'm so sad because this is the last time, this is the last meeting for International English Training Class Batch by VLC Indonesia. I want to cry, but no worry guys, no worries viewers, but I believe, I promise that I want to make again for batch 3. It's really amazing than before. And Professor Chritopher Korten, you have to stay in VLC Indonesia for batch 3 and another batch.
Yes, batch 3 for and yeah.
So actually, Professor Christopher, I really hope that you have to come to Indonesia. And I just want to tell you one information. I have some message or there are some friends text me. Would you mind to invite Professor Christopher Korten to be a speaker in my community or my school? Would you mind to help me?
Wow.
So I thought to them, of course, I'm gonna say yes because I have to talk to you before. So yeah, I can tell to Professor Korten, if Professor say yes, no worries,
yes,
actually.
Please, because we need you.
Oh,
what about you, Prof?
yes, okay, let's do it.
Oh, thank God. Thank you so much.
So, okay, willy-nilly, I'm so happy. I really amazing, spectacular topic. Actually, you are really the only ones to be the best speaker in VLC Indonesia from Korten. And then, yeah, actually, it's really free, totally free. I don't give the salary or payments for Professor Chritopher Korten. It's really social charity. Wow, he's a really nice person, nice professor actually. So big thanks, Prof, for your times.
It's great to be here, Bako. You know it's.
Yeah, but you have to promise me this is not the last time actually for Mr. Bako.
It won't be the last time. I hope.
Okay, so and then I would like to say thank you so much for all the viewers, for all the participants to join here in the first day and until the last time, in the last minute, I mean today. So don't forget, because VLC Indonesia always, actually invite some students to be give some knowledge or experience to build up their, spoken English and also like the knowledge. And then, and also for all the English teachers in Indonesia, I think when you come here, when you coming to join for VLC Indonesia, I hope that you can get some useful knowledge and you can teach to all your students in the school. I hope so like that. And so sorry, I'm so sorry if there is some mistake in VLC Indonesia, is conducting our program. And I want to say also, thank you so much for all the supportive team, because I have more than 15 supportive teams, so like SMK Telkom Bandung, and also like UIN Sarif Hidayatullah. I'm so sorry because I cannot say in detail. So thank you so much for in collaborations. I want to show you one program for VLC Indonesia for the next month. This is not English, but Indonesia.
This is about, actually, you can join for the next meeting. Talk show by VLc-Indonesia, the host Mr. Bako. Yes, you can see, menciptakan konsistensi dan keteraturan pada anak. This is talking about psychology, yes? Professor Chritopher, this is talking about psychology.
Okay, great, thank you.
Wow. So you have to stay in the group because after that I want to share a certificate for participants, but you have to wait for until tomorrow, okay? So don't live in the group because VLC Indonesia has a lot of programs for the next period or the next month.
The WhatsApp group, right, Mr. Bako?
The WhatsApp group, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yes. Mr. Bako, are you still there? Okay. It's gonna, I think it's because the internet. So it's a wonderful day with you, Professor Korten. Thank you so much for your coming and then all the teaching. And then I'd like to say thank you to my panel host, Arini. She is still really young, the second grade of the junior high school actually, but
wow,
already brave and then talented, yeah, accompany me on this webinar. Okay, may this moment can give us more inspiring and then more knowledge, yeah, than before. And then thanks a million to the sponsor that already said some of them by Mr. Bako, Nurul Fikri Serang Banten, Lahazon Malaysia, SMK Telkom Bandung, Sekolah Islam Sinar Cendekia, Sekolah Islam Atira, IGDKI Jakarta, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta, Sekolah Indonesia Riyadh, MGMP Bahasa Inggris SMP Kabupaten Serang, MGMP Bahasa Inggris SMK Kota Bandung dan Kabupaten Bandung, webinar online gratis English World Event Millennial and Juara. And I'm sorry if there is not one of the sponsor that I didn't say just now. Okay, so thank you so much for today's webinar, everyone. Arini, are you still there?
Yes, sorry, my connection is bad.
All right. Yes. Would you like to say something before we close our station, our class today? Okay.
I want to say thank you so much for all speakers and participants for
all right. Okay, that's fine. Yes, okay. So everyone, I think the connection is not really stable. So please stay healthy, happy, lovely, and lively, dear everyone. And have a nice day. And see you on the International English Training Class Batch 3 next week, only in the VLc-Indonesia. All right. So I'm Primayanti from SMK Telkom Bandung and my panel host,
Arini as a student of Nurul Fikri boarding school.
Yes. Yes. Sorry for the inconvenience for today's webinar. And thank you for your time, participations, and your activeness in the webinar. So I'll see you again next time. Thank you. Have a nice day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Miss Prima.
Bye. Thank you, Pak Krisna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in another batch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Miss Prima. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Rima. Thank you, Mr. Mr. Beko.
Thank you, Mr. Beko. Thank you, Mr. Prima.
Thank you, Mr. Bako. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.